Hello. Today I'm going to do another unboxing video of another book from my collection. This is probably the favorite book that I have in my entire collection, and that is this copy. It's a 1973 first edition of Watership Down by Richard Adams. I have this in kind of this sort of beat up old box now, but it's a simple box. It has a facsimile of the cover from the dust jacket here on the front, and some information on the side, and tried to match it up so that the sides of the box sort of match the mustard color of the dust jacket itself. Go ahead and I'll take the book out of here, and we'll take a look at the book itself. So here you can see the book cover. On the front, it's a fairly simplistic design. It's a basic one color. It's really just black. All over on all sides on top of the mustard page. This is a true first edition. This is the true English first edition. Other copies were printed, of course, in different countries, but if you're looking for a first edition of Watership Down, this is going to be the copy that you're going to want to look for, which is the 1973 Rex Collings that was published in London. There's a bit of an interesting story. Obviously, the story itself is a wonderful story. But the story of how this book came to be published is very interesting as well. Obviously, it was written by Richard Adams, but the story itself he had told to his daughters many years prior to the book being published. He told it to his daughters when they were young, and as they grew into adulthood, they kept pressing him that they really thought that he should try to publish that story into a book. So he spent several years working on a book. He was a retired military veteran and a civil servant his entire life, and finally in his early 50s he decided he was going to try to get the book published. So he was not a famous writer. He really had never written anything prior to, and it was a real struggle for him to get the book published. He went to as many as 6 different publishers, and all of them rejected the book. Not necessarily because the book itself, was poorly written or anything like that. It was just no one could really tell if there's actually a market for this book. No one could really tell if the book was geared for children or for adults. There really wasn't anything quite like it. But finally, Rex Collings, who was just a small publisher in London, decided to step up and to publish a copy of it. And we're so grateful, obviously, that they did. One of the things that makes this copy special is the fact that they didn't produce very many copies of that first edition. And a lot of that has to do with that they really just didn't know how well this book would sell. It's hard to find an exact number of copies that were printed, but it's estimated from my research to be somewhere in the range of 2,000 to 2,500 copies. And from what I've seen looking for copies, in online booksellers and in stores, that number sounds about right. It's pretty hard to find a true first edition of this book. And you can find them online and ranging from really about $1,000 onwards to $4,000 or $5,000, depending on the copy, whether it's signed, etc. So it's a pretty difficult book to find, especially to find one in good condition. This particular copy, in terms of the condition, it's in very good condition, really. The book itself appears to be unread. The pages, it's very tight. The dust jacket is nice and bright. There's a little bit of darkening here on the spine, which is fairly common. But overall, it's in wonderful condition. I'll go ahead and take the dust jacket off here. You'll know as well, make sure when you're looking at the dust jacket that it has the 3 pounds 50 on the inside of the dust jacket, and make sure that's not clipped. Let's take a look at the book itself. As you can see, the book is also in wonderful condition. It has a gold foil stamp of the rabbits here on the front, and then there on the spine as well, showing his name, the publisher, and the title. As I said, you can see the book's in just wonderful condition. The pages itself are also in really good condition. One of the things that makes this particular copy very special, I'll try to hold this up so you can see it a bit, is this is actually an inscribed copy. It says, "To Miranda Parrish, with best wishes from Richard Adams, August 1973. So this one was signed by Richard Adams about a year or so after the book was published. You'll be able to know if this is a first edition because it'll just say Rex Collings, London, 1972 on the title page. And it doesn't say first edition. It doesn't have a traditional printing line here. It just has the copyright here. with the SBN number beneath it. So if you're looking for a copy that'll say first edition, it's not going to say that in the true first edition of the book. It's very cool, obviously, the fact that this particular copy has been inscribed. Traditionally, when he signed books, he would date them. That August 1973 is, from what I can tell, one of the earliest inscribed copies that I found in any of the online booksellers. One thing to also note, if you're looking for a copy for this, is to make sure there's a map in the back of the book. Make sure that map is still there. It'll fold out like this. You can see the map's in wonderful condition. It's a map from the story of Watership Down. Definitely something to make sure that you take a look at when you're looking at copies of the book and the condition of the book. Just a wonderful story and an inspiration for all of us, you know, that Richard Adams, who was 52, as I said at the time when he published this, against all odds and against rejection and the fact that he was not an established writer, he was still able to get his book published. And it's just an inspiration for all of us that regardless of whatever our goals are and whatever rejection we may be facing, to keep persevering through. And the amazing thing is this book went on to sell over 50 million copies. So just an absolutely astounding national success, and it's one of the best-selling books of all time. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video of the book. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I hope to do some more videos in the future taking a look at other books from my collection. Thanks for watching.